So, medtech company Senseonics stock, ticker symbol SENS, has been on a great run lately, just touching that $4 mark before market open on Monday. There are a bunch of new catalysts and just reasons why this thing can go much higher at this point still, so it is a very interesting stock which we just have to talk about today. It is not only a potential candidate for a short squeeze, as it has gained a bunch of attention from retail investors and Wall Street bets, but Senseonics is also a promising company with a high potential and quite a low market cap. So guys, let's talk about this with all the recent news and updates about Senseonics, as well as just how far this thing can go with the full power of the retail investors behind it. Firstly, let's very quickly explain what Senseonics actually does. They are a medical technology company, or a med tech company, which focuses on the design, development and commercialization of a glucose monitoring system used to measure glucose levels in people with diabetes. But in the United States, this system can only be there for 90 days, and now they are trying to get FDA approval to use it for 180 days. The study they did on this was very successful, and that was what caused the initial run-up some weeks ago. As a medtech company, these are super reliant on getting approval on their products, since they invest and just burn so much money into them. New investors might look at their revenues of a couple of $1 million for Q1, I think, and just be shocked that they are in the billions in market cap right now, but that is the nature of these kinds of stocks, guys. They usually start out just burning cash, trying to find an approved treatment that can also disrupt the market. Then when they finally find this thing and start seeing worldwide adoption, the revenues and the share price just skyrocket. Of course, there's always a risk that doesn't happen, which is also why these companies are very risky stocks that can have insane upside potential, but could also disappoint, So really, this FDA approval and Senseonics taking market shares in a massive market is the biggest catalyst for the fundamentals of this company to look good and just warrant much higher share prices. So guys, that is more of the fundamental side of Senseonics. The product is super promising, being one of the first in its market. Pricking your finger to check blood glucose levels can be quite tedious, especially since you can't do it constantly every single minute. But this new tool is just the future of monitoring glucose levels, where all you need is to just check your phone to see how you are doing. But anyways, now moving on to simple price action and technicals for Senseonics stock for you more short-term swing traders. It is no secret that there is a lot of hype going around the 25% or so short interest it has right now, and all it really needs is high volume coupled with buying pressure to cause it to absolutely skyrocket some ridiculous amount. There are a couple of things you guys should look out for in these stocks. Firstly, make sure to look at the market cap and how many shares that are afloat and actually actively traded. It is obvious that the smaller a company is, the easier it is to cause a short squeeze and just massive price movements in that stock. Also, the amount of shares that are being actively traded is a great indicator to see how the supply is looking for the shares. Guys, just a crazy example. Imagine if absolutely no one was willing to sell their Senseonics stock, AMC stock, or whatever stock really. That would mean that there are 0 shares actively traded, and that for anyone who wanted to buy the stock, they would be forced to offer so much more money for just one of the diamond hand traders to finally sell their stock. So the less shares you have in circulation relative to the total amount of shares outstanding, the easier it is to see an actual short squeeze. Finally guys, we need to look at the short interest and the volume for Senseonics, which are both looking primed for a squeeze in the future. At least 20% of short interest combined with the volume traded being ridiculously high the last trading days are all good signs. But for you short-term traders, it might also be a sign to get out and take profits if you do notice that volume going down a bit. But looking at the stock chart itself, I would say we have a good support right at that $3 mark, with super strong support just below the $2 levels. So compared to the other short squeeze candidates, I am not seeing too much downside, too much insane downside at least, for a penny stock like Senseonics. Of course, it goes without saying that this thing is not for some cautious investors. At least these short-term movements are definitely hype-based to some extent, so make sure to take profits along the way if you're making some kind of life-changing money. Now, on the other hand, guys, the upside potential for Senseonics is just ridiculous. I would not at all be surprised to see Sense breaking the last all-time highs of around $5.2 if this squeeze actually goes through. And after that, with no overhead resistance, just going crazy to even double digits could actually be a possibility. This goes right back to what I said about market cap and still being worth less than $2 billion right now. And this thing just enables those crazy short squeezes similar to what Clover Health Investments saw last week. So with this said, would I personally buy Senseonics stocks, and what prices do I see for both a short-term price action, just squeeze focused perspective, but also as a long-term fundamental perspective? Firstly, it is a medtech penny stock, and I urge you not to make it a massive part of your portfolio. But even as a long-term investor, I would be fine to put maybe a couple of percent of my portfolio and just see what Senseonics can do. If this glucose monitor gets FDA approved for 180 days, and if their system can truly disrupt the market and find worldwide adoption, it could genuinely become a multiple billion-dollar company. And as for the momentum guys out there, I see this as one of the best short squeeze candidates out there right now. Again, not taking anything away from AMC or GME, which are the original short squeeze giants, but things like Senseonics and in my opinion Workhorse, to be honest, are stocks that I think at least have some potential and don't have crazy downside to them, while at the same time being primed for ridiculous short-term skyrocketing moves. Just remember guys to do your own research and to come to your own conclusions, since this is not financial advice of course, and also especially in this case tread carefully since smaller stocks are indeed more risky. And with that, I'll conclude today's video. If you are new here, by the way, my name is Sam and welcome to the channel. Here I talk about various different interesting growth stocks or just, interesting stocks that I think have tons of potential. Sometimes talk a bit about more crypto. We're going to see what happens to this channel in the future. I am not completely sure where to take it yet, to be honest. Anyways, if you like this particular video, then please press that like button. It is the absolute best way you can support me and support the channel. Helps the video reach out to more people and simply spread the message about these stocks. Also, if you have watched all the way to this point and if you enjoyed this video of course, then why not subscribe to the channel and join our community. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. Good luck out there in the stock market, especially with these momentum stocks. Going to be interesting to see what's going to happen to them this week and the coming weeks. And yeah, good luck out there and I will see you soon in the next video.